Well, a warm welcome to Christ Church's Daily Reflection. I'm Terence and today I want to take a very brief look at the vast subject of the Trinity. The awesome fact that God is three distinct persons, Father, Son and Holy Spirit, but is one at the same time. And what's prompted this, actually, is watching and reflecting on the recent political events of the United States. We've seen unprecedented scenes as crowds ran amok in Congress trying to stop the certification of Joe Biden as the new president. And this was, of course, the culmination of years of political turmoil. But what struck me about this is how at heart so much of this is about breakdown in relationships and distrust. Divisions have gone so deep on all sides. There's a total absence of love. And it's such a contrast to how we're called to live. In John 14, Jesus had a final conversations with his disciples before his death. And it's really interesting what he chose to talk about. No more parables, no more physical healings, no more casting out demons. At such a precious moment, Jesus starts talking about the three persons of the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Now, he doesn't use the term Trinity. The church introduced that term much later on, and it would have been mind-boggling for his frightened disciples to understand as well, I'm sure. And we've had the benefit of 2,000 years of theologians trying to grapple with what it really means, and they still struggle. So why does Jesus choose his final moments to start talking about the Trinity? Well, the answer, I think, may lie in what the Trinity represents. It's all about relationship. It's the perfect relationship. It's the three persons of the Godhead, yet sharing the same essential nature. And what binds this oneness together is perfect, eternal love. And this is Jesus' parting message to his followers on how they should live. Model the love of the Godhead. And it's the same message for us. We exist from and for love. From and for love. Now, people often say they can't understand the Trinity. It's just an interesting academic idea. But the thing is, you don't actually have to understand something fully to know it's true or appreciate it or even to live by it. I used to fly small aeroplanes, and as part of my training I had to study the theory of flight and how planes fly. And I remember reading this textbook. It was written by British Airways' top test pilot. He was a brilliant pilot and engineer. And there was I remember this paragraph summarising all the physical forces at work on a plane: lift, weight, thrust and drag, and explaining why a plane flew smoothly. And at the end of this paragraph, I remember these really telling words that he wrote. He said this: "I've just told you why planes fly, and it's true, and it brings great benefits. But actually, I've no idea why it's true. I'm British Airways' top test pilot, and I have no idea why all these physical forces exist in the first place. They just do, and it's simply marvellous." And there's a parallel with the Trinity. We can't explain why God exists as three persons. He just does. We can't explain why God exists as the embodiment of perfect love. He just does. But crucially, we also just know that if we choose to live this way, it's, as that British Airways pilot said, simply marvellous. And when I think about what's going on in America, it's the opposite of how God calls us to live. It's the absence of love. It's a breakdown of relationships. And nature always fills a vacuum, so we get rancour and division instead. So my encouragement to each of us today is simply this: let's just reflect on that mind-boggling, perfect, unconditional love embodied in the Trinity. How can we model it in each of our relationships? Whether it's face-to-face with someone, or in a Zoom, or a phone call, or on a social media chat. So whoever we interact with today, Let's try and love them in the way each person of the Godhead loves each other, because it's simply marvellous. Well, have a blessed day.